installing a 220 outlet in the main breaker box. This is on the side of the house by the garage. I've already knocked out the 1-inch diameter knockout here, and then right below it I've drilled a 1-inch diameter hole, maybe a little bit over 1 inch, but this is my concrete bit right here, using a power drill, a hammer power drill. What's important here is to measure this distance properly so that this can be installed. So this box here, this box normally comes just as a box. All right, so you purchase it and it looks like this. It's about $10. All you're gonna do is line this up and measure it, right, for this hole. It's about perfect. And then when you get this hole, you might have to make it just a little bit bigger so that this nipple fits into the hole. All right, and then this gets threaded in to the chase box here. And then in the breaker box, you put one of these on the top. It feeds in through the top here like this, and screws in and holds everything secure. That way you can pull your wires through, you can attach your breaker. And what we're gonna do now is we've measured the distance from the edge of the wall out to this box, 76 inches. And then on the inside, we measured over. We measured over from that edge over, and then about where it is. It should come out right about where this piece of tape is. So you really want it to at least 2 feet off the ground. This is about 3 feet right here. So when the Tesla power charger dangles, it won't hit the floor. And that's what it's gonna look like. All right, so I've already drilled through the brick on the side of the house, but on the inside here, there's a barrier. It's like a piece of cardboard. We need to puncture through that, but we don't want to go too far because we don't want to go through the drywall on the other side. So we're just going to kind of go pretty easy on that. I'm trying to angle this camera to capture this, but I don't know if I'm going to be perfect or not, but we'll try. Once I punctured through, then I stop right away because I want to make sure that I don't damage the drywall. So you can see, I don't know if you can see this or not. I can see it. It's punctured through on the inside here. And now we're going to take one of these bits here. This one happens to be 1 1/4 inch. We're going to put it on an 18-inch extension. See, I wallowed this out just a little bit with the 1-inch drill. I don't know why this isn't focusing. And then we're just gonna very carefully just give it a little bit of a puncture. All right, so what we don't want to do is destroy the drywall. So I'm just gonna disconnect it from here on this side and then pull it through on the other side, and then we'll see what's going on over there. All right, so you can see here's the puncture. Don't put a lot of force on it, and it came out. And there it is right there. So just gonna pull it through. All right, so we're a little bit lower than what I was thinking it was gonna be, but that's okay. Our measurement horizontally was pretty spot on. And then we're gonna install one of these blue boxes. And I use a level, and I'm gonna put this box, I'm gonna put this box here so that the bottom of the box is at the bottom of the hole, right there. So it's still gonna cover it, but just barely, and then we'll make sure that it's perfectly horizontal, perpendicular, and make sure it looks good. So this tool here, the stud finder, I've already made sure that there was no studs where I want to fit this box. All right. But what's really nice about this one is it has this level built in. So I'm just going to use it to draw a horizontal line. Get it pretty close. Right there. Bring it up a little bit. All right. That's about as good as I'm going to get it. So let's mark that. Okay. And we'll put the box up in here. We want the box horizontal like this. So these little tabs are on the top and the bottom. Right there and right there. So the little blue tabs, these 3 blue tabs here and 3 on the bottom, that's what actually holds it against the wall. So when you draw the line, make sure you draw it on the bottom side there. All right, so I'm just gonna connect the dots here, basically, or the dashes. All right, that looks pretty good. And then we're gonna cut this out with the multi-tool. Sometimes they use a wood blade, sometimes they use a metal blade. It really doesn't matter. The drywall, it cuts really easy. A lot of times it just comes down to what tool that I have loaded up already in the multi-tool. So now we got a hole coming through. Feed our wire. Do a careful fit, making sure that we can still pull it back out. And as you can see, the little blue tabs have some meat to grab onto, and it's nice and sturdy. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is attach our wires to the actual circuit breaker that we're going to use. This is a Square D QO. Putting in a 60 amp breaker here. And basically all I'm going to do is strip the wire back on the red and the black and attach it here, and then we'll feed it from the box down, because I don't ever really want to push wires into the electrical box unless I absolutely have no other choice. Alright, so all I do is I strip those wires and then attach these. I got them going. Now I'm going to attach the this conduit here. Screw it in. We'll take off the cover and then wire through. got that attached. Take off this cover. Use the screws. I'm gonna set these over here because I don't want to lose these. So save those. Screwdriver in my pocket for a second. This is tight right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put some silicone. This is to seal out any kind of bugs or whatever. Okay, so it only takes a little bit of silicone. This one tube of silicone, usually it's gonna last me probably 5 to 10 jobs doing all kinds of different stuff, not just this kind of thing, but like anytime there's an outside light installed or whatever, I'll seal it. Okay. So we got our white wire. Feed that through. We've got solid copper. Feed that through. And then we'll also feed an actual circuit breaker through. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause this and feed this through, and then I'll come back. So just a quick note here. I don't like using electrical tape for this kind of thing. I use this blue painter's tape. The black electrical tape is really sticky, really messy, and so I just use blue tape. Okay, so I just filled it through real quick. Just shoved it through. We'll go around the other side and see how long it is, or short it is, or maybe bring some tools with me. And there it is right there. I'm gonna feed this into this box and then make the connection to our 1450 right here. All right. So on this box, I cut this little center piece right here and then push those back. This is really, really hard to get those wires in or out. That strain relief has to be there. And so we're gonna leave it intact. But the truth is, like, this wire is really hard to get out. So this box is gonna get installed here. The wire is gonna feed through the strain relief area. And then this connector right here, this 1450, gets installed like this, and this D-shaped one, which is the ground wire, is going to be at the top. On this particular unit, these wires come directly in the back, which is pretty convenient because it comes like straight in. So this should be pretty straightforward and easy. All right, so I have these wires stripped, got them ready. I push them through here, put in the box. We're just gonna tighten this box up now. Forgot my drill. Okay, need this. All right, so we're just gonna put these in very carefully. We're not gonna go hog wild crazy on this. We just have to have enough of this screw turned in order to make that flag come up and hold this in place. Yep, that one's done. You hear the sound change. There it goes. It pushes me out, and then I know that that's nice and tight now. So on this, the two gold are the black and the red. The silver is for the white, and the green is for the bare copper. I always like to do the copper and the silver first. There's no reason exactly for that. It's just something that I do. So I'm gonna see if I can set this up. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see how that goes. I'll put this in by hand, using the square-shaped bit. I don't know what it's called. I forgot. This isn't going to get it totally tight, but this is going to be the first tightening. It's really important to get these tight. If these aren't tight, it's going to cause this plug to overheat and possibly melt wires or worse. So when you hear people having problems, it's because probably their wires came loose or were never tight to begin with. But I tighten them more than once. Kind of like when you're putting lug nuts on a car, you don't want to do it just one time and call it good. You let the metal relax a little bit and then come back and do a couple more tightenings. I'm gonna switch from this stubby tool to a different screwdriver when I tighten it down the final time. Just kind of get everything test fit. Okay. Let's look at this. So you don't want like a ton of wire hanging out, exposed. If this wasn't neutral, I might cut that a little bit shorter and redo this one. These ones are okay, I guess. It really comes up to you. But then when you get to push this in, make sure you put this square or this D-shaped one at the top. So I'm gonna tighten these up the final time and then get these pushed back in here. We'll put like a little Z on the wire if we can. There's not a lot of room in this box, but we'll get this pushed on here. All right, so I used this to tighten these up one more time. This has a tendency, these square bits have a tendency to slip. So I like to do one final tighten with just a regular flat blade to make sure everything's nice and tight. Freaking tight, for sure. Yeah, good and tight already. All right, so go ahead and put a twist in this. And try to push this back out past this drain relief again, which is a pain. All right, but most importantly, we want to make sure that the D is on top, so I don't have to like do this multiple times. All right, so I'm gonna go out and pull on it from back there. It's gonna take a little bit of effort. Pull. Alright, back. Probably give it a push. This black needs to be pulled. I'm gonna go pull it. Good right here. So in the box, we're gonna leave the extra wire. We won't cut it short. That way, if there is any service work that needs to be done, they can still get in there and do it. And the easiest way to do this is just to get one screw started and then go to the next screw. Hold it in place. So I'm not tightening it up all the way, just a couple of threads in. Now all four of them are in. And that's where I think I want it. Tighten this up a little bit more. It's solid. It's not going anywhere. Nice and solid. Alright, so that's what it looks like. And we'll put this plate on here in a minute. Let's see. Make sure everything looks good outside. Nothing crazy going on. So this is our extra wire, so we're just gonna pull the extra wire back into the box and like kind of zigzag it a little bit, and we're gonna try to dress this wires. Maybe what we'll do is put the breaker on this side because there's a lot going on over here. We'll try to put it in over here instead. Good. Just cover back on. so I got plenty of white and copper. That's gonna go up this right side, and we're gonna make a connection in here somewhere. There's plenty of spaces out here, and then the breaker is gonna go over here to the left. I think we're gonna put the second one up, and then we'll break that out. All right. So I know I said that I was gonna route the wires to the right. I changed my mind, and I went ahead and I routed the wires to the left here behind these other cables, and these two are the two that I just added. And then I put a little zigzag in here, and this is pretty much ready just to be snapped in when we are after we get this all set up and in here. So let's go ahead and put this plate on. So just in case you didn't know this plate is not square. I mean, the plate is, but the mounting holes aren't square. You can see it fits here, but if you rotate it 90 degrees, it doesn't line up. See that? So if you think you got the wrong plate, just make sure that you've got it rotated in the right orientation. Screws in. Just get a couple thread in, don't go all the way tight. I can probably just do it by finger. Okay. Now that all of them are in, you can go tight. Sit for this side. That's what she looks like. And then we can go on the other side and push in the breaker. Grab the voltmeter real quick. Just gonna put it on 600 volt because the other range is only 200. I'm gonna be seeing between 240 and 250 usually, somewhere in there. So we need to have it on a 600 volt range. Set that down for a minute. And push this bad boy on. Pushed in. Push these to the rear. Out of the way. And the most important thing on this is just make sure that you're not over here where the screw is going to screw into any of the wire. Make sure you're back pretty far. You can see in this particular house they had solar panels installed, so they've got a bunch of extra wires here. And this plate, this outside plate does not fit nice and flush. It's going to be in there kind of crooked. There's nothing I can do about that. I can just put the plate back on the way it was for them to begin with. And we're going to go ahead and turn on the breaker. Right there, turn it on, and then we'll go check the voltage. from black to red. From the black to red, the two outside ones there, 245. The exact number really doesn't matter too much. And you go from one of the hots to neutral, say like 122. If you do it the other way, it should be something pretty close, like 123 or 122 again, doing it from that side. And then just to check make sure that the ground connection is good. We'll measure that at the ground. Even though you're not carrying any current in the ground, you want to make sure that it's connected. So we are good to go. It all checks out. And this job is all but done. All I'm going to do is notify the customer that it's completed and put on the panel in the back on the side. And you can come do that with me. So everything's is pretty much as tidy as I can get it. I only routed 2 wires here and these 2 wires here. The rest of it I'm not gonna mess with. So we put the breaker here at the bottom, so I'm gonna knock these 2 out. And I always do this very last because if you wind up with a problem and you have to move the breaker to a different location, you don't want to already have removed these and have a big gaping hole in the box. So this is the very last thing that I do. Also take a magic marker and write down what it's being used for. In this particular case, we're on 25 and 23, and this is 220 outlet. I don't know what this is right here exactly. Whoever did the work on this previously, they didn't put this in. So I just marked mine and left that one blank. Nothing I can do with that. So you go to slide this panel back in. There's a couple bumps right here on each side, and the panel has to slide through these bumps, and then there's 3 screws that go in. That one started. This one started. Set down my screwdriver like this. Guess I just go grab the screwdriver wherever I set it down. I thought I had it in my pocket. It's right here. These don't have to be super tight. They're not gonna rattle loose or anything. So that is it. We're done. And all you need to do is clean up, double check everything. Got good silicone here. I got the 2 covers on, the gasket, the rubber gaskets in here. I think that's it. That's all. Thank you.